they face off in this lower bracket, and it is the lower bracket. Whoever loses this match will be out of the path to pro for good.
I tried to tactically sneak that one in because I realized that you can see what that one says, and I can see what that one says. So I was like, without having to make you turn around, I wanted to try and sneak that one in.
Good teamwork.
Unfortunately, it wasn't quite as subtle as I was hoping. But
good
back to seriousness, Cheap Eddie and RZA probably going to be Aquaman Darkside unless RZA just decides to just go all the way to Red Hood, because in both sets we've seen RZA play, he has started with Darkside and has ended up going to Red Hood. Do you think there will come a point that he just loses faith in his Darkside and wants to go all Red Hood, or do you think it really comes down to the matchup?
That's definitely an Undead Jim question, I think.
I think it's going to be. It's always going to be a bit of both, isn't it? The matchup kind of decides whether you are able to get comfortable and play exactly how you want. I mean, but for Aquaman in particular, both his characters allow for bypass of the trait, so I think he'll just go with who he feels comfortable in terms of how much he's played that character.
A big part of the Red Hood matchup, though, is there's nowhere on screen that Aquaman can tentacle strike without taking some damage. If you're point blank, you'll just get hit by the forward dive into meter burn on hit, which will give you that great knockdown potential. But if you're far away, you can get not only the forward dive, so the meter burn forward dive gunshots, which leave Red Hood at a really nice frame advantageous situation where he can get some guaranteed pressure, press some buttons, do whatever he wants to do. There's nowhere on screen that Aquaman can do tentacle strike that Red Hood can't punish him with that forward dive, which means that you almost completely just eliminate that from the matchup entirely. But it's not even just that, right? It's even if Aquaman tries to trait out of something, if he does tentacle strike into trait, he's still going to block those gunshots, which is still going to do a ton of damage on hit. I just think generally, perhaps, if Cheap Eddie has other characters, we might see them now, because I don't think picking Aquaman into what could be Red Hood is a good idea. I think if RZA is smart, he's going to hide his cursor and make it harder for him to counterpick.
Well, you're talking about hidden cursor, we are about to go into our character select, so we're going to find out who uses who. And kind of like what you said here, I think knowing that Cheap Eddie is likely to pick Aquaman is a good call. But RZA, instead of potentially, I don't want to say giving up games, but the majority of games he's lost have come from that early Darkside pick. So maybe he's just trying to just eliminate the possibility of that completely.
Maybe we're going into this first game. I'll have to wait and see how this goes. I think usually the first match does a good job of sort of just setting the speed, setting the standard for how the rest of the set is going to be going. This is a rough matchup for Aquaman. Whether or not Cheap Eddie can make it work, we'll find out soon.
Depends on if I keep my promise.
I like Red Hood's voice. I just let those rock all the time. I just listen to it.
Well, first it's going to go to RZA quite comfortably. That's 2 tentacle strikes Cheap Eddie's tried to do.
And the trade's not going to be as in his favor this time, because he's not going to get the full combo into the trident toss or another tentacle strike like he used to get, because now it doesn't combo. In many ways, actually, the changes to Aquaman, although it allows him to play the fundamental point of what Aquaman is as a character, this matchup in particular, probably going to be a little bit rougher now.
Air tech to avoid damage, but RZA still very much has some pressure going on now. Cheap Eddie quite down on life.
Tagged by the overhead, there's the knockdown. And now with Cheap Eddie's back to the wall, if you have your back to the wall against Red Hood, it can be hard to block central depending on how you get up and how RZA is going to read that you get up.
Speed tentacle strike, and there's that wake up from RZA. Red Hood, so hard to pin him down from that range. You have to be really careful going in for that advancement.
Good trade. Absolutely for RZA. Nice chunk of damage, but again, no combo. Using that dive guarantees. Now Cheap Eddie back to the wall, uses Aqua Armor early, so now if he gets opened up, he's not going to be able to use it. Oh no!
RZA going for the knockdown. There's the read. Wake up jump from Cheap Eddie. Good read, but doesn't turn into a special. That could have been a life bar. Now any life he loses now is going to be unnecessary.
That's always going to be the worst kind of round to sort of accept. And just eats a raw jump in as well. The mine meter burn just in case he pressed buttons. Meter burn air akimbo shots. And I mean, in many ways, an unnecessary way to go out in game 1.
It was, unfortunately, but RZA looking really strong. This Red Hood pick definitely going to be paying off. Question is, does Cheap Eddie stick to Aquaman, or does he actually swap here?
I think if you're gonna change, you have to change now.
Oh, okay.
What he's gone in for, yeah, that Green Lantern pick.
I actually didn't know that Green Eddie. That Cheap Eddie played Green Lantern. I mean, I haven't seen him play it before, but obviously he's putting it out now. This is the lower bracket, so this is very much all or nothing.
I think if you haven't got faith in a character, you definitely wouldn't pick them in this scenario. So I'm willing to bet that Cheap Eddie has got a couple of tricks up his sleeve ready to go. The question is, can he enforce that? And immediately, a great start. A very typical Red Hood start right there. That fast, advancing, plus on block string. You got to challenge it.
Oh, nice forward dash from Cheap Eddie. Going to get a little bit of a hit there, but nothing substantial.
Nice hit confirm into lift. opting to save the damage, the last minute cross up. You're going to see a lot of that from Green Lantern. He has so many ways to go for hard knockdowns or splats, and then he's got those really ambiguous mix-ups on your wake up.
Oh wow, that was really tricky, and that's going to work too. The trait's going to come into play. Oh, going to spend his bar too. Is he going to cash out? Oh, the air tech from RZA, but doesn't get him out of anything.
I'm not sure I agree with the air tech. I mean, like he was probably going to lose the round anyway, and he's just lost so much meter in that exchange, but we'll see if it pays off for him. Tries to backdash, maybe expecting a down one or a back one.
That chip damage is going to start adding up very soon. Cheap Eddie, a nice, strong win. I mean, to be fair, Green Lantern really just controls that space. That's what Cheap Eddie's been doing really well so far. It's just not letting RZA move around as freely as Red Hood wants to do.
Now, I may be thinking a bit too far ahead, but this is very much a character change, and it's an exchange in playstyle. If RZA doesn't win this game, is this when he changes to Darkseid as answer to Green Lantern?
I'm not quite sure. He might actually still manage to take this one. Nice setups coming out. There we go. You have to be so careful doing wake-ups against Red Hood. If your wake-up doesn't move you forward and you're just going to stay on that mine, that wake-up attack may as well not exist.
Almost like a certain yellow character that shoots bombs in a similar way.
Maybe. But still, though, Cheap Eddie has the screen to work with. Nowhere near the corner now.
Oh, sort of press the advantage in some ways. There's the meteor burn, challenging it with the dive. Brave.
Oh, wow, no clash coming out from RZA. Unclashable. Oh, there's a late wake-up. Oh! There's the clash now. That's going to be a nice chunk of health back. And it's also going to push Cheap Eddie further towards the corner, which is really where Red Hood can thrive.
And RZA is displaying the knowledge. You know, if you're going to fight off against Green Lantern, the delayed wake-up is so vital. You know, so you don't get hit by those free setups. And it forces Green Lantern to make a read on how you get up, which opens up the possibility for wake-up attacks.
Nice read on the up shuriken. Oh, but he presses buttons in between, disrespects it, and Cheap Eddie goes in with the pressure.
No bar for air tech either. This is all free damage.
What's the setup? Another nice delayed wake-up coming out from RZA. His wake-up choices have been on point.
Don't make me call Batman.
Now, this full screen is going to be a bit tricky for RZA because he can't really afford to take anything substantial. Cheap Eddie did spend one bar though, so he got a little bit of health back. He's not going to have the instant blast.
Oh! Oh, and there's that meaty lantern. Going to work for Cheap Eddie. A close game though. Very close. I mean, Cheap Eddie had a very good start, but RZA was able to bring it back quite well, but not quite enough.
I'm going to ask you, do we see Darkseid here? Do you reckon we'll see the change?
I'm not really sure, because fundamentally, like, RZA got opened up a few times by some of those sort of tricky Green Lantern, sort of, you know, Oki setups, but fundamentally, he was playing it well, but still, RZA looking for the opportunity to go back to Darkseid. It will mean that Cheap Eddie has to adapt on the fly. We've seen that RZA is clearly not phased by swapping between these two characters as and when he sees fit, but Cheap Eddie now going to have to play around it.
Now, the big element is going to be, again, projectile that knocks down. Can be a good trading tool versus Green Lantern, but at the same time, the teleport, a huge, huge factor in a matchup.
I think a big thing here is the wake-up options, right? If you're trying to do these sort of Green Lantern tricky setups where it sort of goes in front, behind, waking up out of them is really difficult, which is why we see a lot of people tend to delay wake-up. Whereas Darkseid has that powerful wake-up option. Nice confirm attempt from Cheap Eddie, but doesn't quite get too much from it. Oh, ever so slightly missed spaces.
Stomp just landed on the active frames of a back one and lost, by the way. That was very interesting. Now, full combo. There's the wake-up attack. It's something that Cheap Eddie's going to have to be really careful for, but if Cheap Eddie gets put on the back foot and he's forced to wake up, the wall will only go one way. So if RZA manages to get a good teleport on Oki, he might even be able to make the wall miss.
How much damage we can see RZA get here. Oh, ends it straight away, 330. Strange to say, a little bit on the low side for Darkseid damage.
Completely. Nice
block on the overhead. No punish though. Got a raw back 3, must have tried to do a back 1-3, but must have started a little bit too late. Tries to punish the down 2 as well. Cheap Eddie is just being close but no cigar with these punishes.
Now there's a grab. He's not going to have the same sort of grounded, normal / string-based game that Red Hood would have. So he's going to be forced to go for those down ones more from those grab mix-ups.
It is working out for him though. This is that Darkseid style, that heavy hitting, very dangerous to be on the defense from.
That's the matchup for it. Let's get man in the air, so this is likely to be the round. Nice bit of repositioning, but no, alive slightly.
He was confident that was going to do chip damage, but not quite enough. RZA alive by absolute specks of life. There's that grab. I mean, RZA, I don't really blame him for going for that. With that little health left, there's very little you can do.
That's a great trade, but no full combo. Normally those down 2s trading are a fantastic exchange, but there's the mix-up.
Good block.
Yeah, great block.
Or going for it again. Cheap Eddie looking to loop it. No punish on the lift.
Don't think he was ready for him to just immediately confirm into that. It's such a risky business.
Oh, Cheap Eddie walking into these laser beams. Oh, down 1 to stop that advance. RZA's been using this low poke so well all day.
Cheap Eddie can't afford to walk into any more of those. He's going to get the knockdown.
Oh, that was really tricky and really good whip punish from Cheap Eddie again.
I feel like if RZA actually went over the down one, forced to use his clash. He's got a lot more meter. I wonder how much he's going to spend here.
I mean, Cheap Eddie has been playing really tricky, almost like impossible to clash, and so he's left, right, left, right. Uh-oh, that could be bad. Oh no, doesn't confirm. He had no trait. Another chance. Confirms this one. Oh, but the air tech's going to keep him alive. No, he catches him on the landing.
This is likely to be the game.
Does he have enough damage? He must do.
That's it. He's got it. Now, that at the very last minute wasn't quite able to confirm into his trait, which is why I think we saw a couple of those let rock without a full combo. But he just caught RZA a couple of extra times. And really, it just came down to when he got those teleports on deck, he wasn't able to successfully land either jump or stomp. Like every single time he went for the jump in, Cheap Eddie blocked overhead. Any one of those could have been a stomp.
I'm actually interested to see what RZA chooses to go with here, because this could be his last match in Path to Pro. Does he put it on Red Hood or does he go to RZA? Does RZA to Darkside, I should say. Looks like he is going to go straight back to Darkside. I mean, for those of you watching that might be a little bit confused as to why Cheap Eddie is always ending his combos in that way, as, you know, basically just doing 3 hits of a 4-hit string and then kind of ending it there. That does grant him a hard knockdown and a lot of time on the knockdown, which means that Green Lantern can set up those tricky walking over your body, trying to set up those, you know, standing cross-ups. Maybe you go for the low. It's incredibly hard to defend against through traditional means, which is what we can see just right here, right? Left or right, overhead or low. It's very tricky to deal with.
Now, a fantastic start for Cheap Eddie. Darkside can easily sort of undo some of that damage, but he needs to land a significant hit, and as long as he's going to be on the back foot, Cheap Eddie is going to be able to sort of steal all the momentum.
See Cheap Eddie forward dashing into walk back. He's trying to get a button out of RZA. He's trying to make him press something that he can whiff punish.
Unfortunately, he can't really afford to take that stage, but nice. Good catch from the Meatburn forward 3. That's going to be a start. Spending a second bar on the launch, but because it started off a forward 3, not able to get the background bounce. Pressing buttons.
Good trait setup coming out from RZA. Doesn't quite get much for it, though. Trading damage for damage. Cheap Eddie definitely winning these trades at the moment.
But not winning the meter exchange. That's the thing. He did a bit more damage, but he did spend a lot of meter on that exchange. It's match point for Cheap Eddie, but now no bars of meter to get the job done just yet.
This is Darkside. If RZA can hit him once, he can delete what that is left for Cheap Eddie. Throw in the boxes. Oh, and they're going to trade. Almost guaranteed chip here. Cheap Eddie trying to do as much damage as possible, trying to stop him. No, he wastes the interactable, but still going to walk into it. RZA loses quite a lot of health. Cheap Eddie still in the lead, but massive meter deficit.
I was just about to say, look at the exchange, but no, Cheap Eddie beats him in the air again. RZA has not been able to get those successful air to airs. No, caught again. Is he able to go for the clash? No.
Cheap Eddie's not letting him clash. There's the armor break. Cheap Eddie is not letting him clash at all. He's not letting him do whatever he wants to defend himself. He's forcing him to block. He is making himself very difficult to deal with.
No stomp. The forward 3 connects, but I mean, look at how much work he has to do to stay alive in this tournament.
Oh, there's that down 2, and the minion disappeared. Not continuing the combo, does not want RZA to clash at all. This chip damage is going to add up so fast. The instant low is going to do it, though. Lots of damage coming through. No, there's the clash from Cheap Eddie. Gets back some health and reset back to neutral. Any momentum that RZA just built is gone now.
Likely scenario is going to be 1 bar each, but no, RZA has to keep that bar of meter. Cheap Eddie, he just needs to land 1 more beam and it's over.
That's block damage. No punish, the down 1 will not do. There's the block from Cheap Eddie. Lands on the back 1. Cheap Eddie could do this. There's the wake up, connects. Oh my lord, what is going on?
Oh, on the back 1 string connects in full, and in many ways RZA might have been able to recover from that one, but it was just so many little hits here and there that I just don't think he was ready to connect. RZA is eliminated from the tournament.
Cheap Eddie just made himself as unclashable and as hard to defend against as possible. Almost everything was a mix-up between the overhead forward 3 or the back 1 low or throw or just chip damage or an air, or just, you know, an air-to-air that would go nowhere, a down 2 with no conversion. He just wanted to make himself as unclashable as possible. RZA didn't have the bar to go for an air tech. His only option to try and survive was to clash, but Cheap Eddie just didn't want him to. He wanted to keep that momentum going. I mean, you could see just how difficult it was to deal with, you know, for RZA in that situation, and Cheap Eddie ran away with it and will be advancing through the low bracket. RZA is unfortunately eliminated from Path to Pro.
What do you reckon, Jim? Green Lantern, solid pick, not one that any of us really expected. What made that matchup so good for Cheap Eddie?
Well, look at Green Lantern's 2 kind of major tools in that matchup, the jump 1 and the back 1. These far-reaching kicks against Darkside, whose footsies are on the weaker side of the cast, meant that RZA had to space him out with Omega Beams pretty much primarily and try and get out trait. But because Green Lantern has those zoning options, especially the quick EX Beam, he's able to kind of mix up and play that hybrid style where Darkside had to play
One thing,
primarily
one thing I want to ask you about, right, is because that is kind of case in point what we saw here just now is, we mentioned it early on, and I'm going to bring it up again, composure. Being able to really keep yourself in the right frame of mind. And this last little exchange there, RZA, you see him desperately trying to get the few hits, but Cheap Eddie just made himself as hard to hit, as hard to pin down as possible, because he knew he had a massive life lead, he had the lead on the meter, he had the clash available. Everything was mentally stacked against RZA. Like, how do you keep yourself composed there, right? When you are that far behind, I mean, you know, I think it's safe to say, you've probably been in that situation before, right? You know, you're in a tournament, you're on the losing side, you can see your health slowly start to tick away, and you know that if you lose that life bar, that final life bar, you are eliminated from the tournament. No more winners bracket, no more second chances, no more, I'm going to try again next week. This is your final chance. Like, what goes through your mind in that situation?
I think what I do and a lot of other players do is they will make a read on the player then and there, and then they'll commit. And I think that's what we saw with RZA. He committed to low stomps. Unfortunately, they did get back to wand. But he in that moment, he said, I'm going to commit and low stomp. And even at the end, he said, I'm going to predict you're going to respect me now, and I'm going to get out trade point blank in your face, because if he did, then that trait might have been the key in order to get that one last hit.
So he almost